I am Toddla T, traditionally a DJ and music producer, but been on radio for years, been in raves for years. Currently in my music studio known as the Steez Factory, where I make the majority of my music, but also host a platform for content and artists. And I guess most importantly, I'm a father. So yeah, this space kind of combines all those worlds. As you can probably see, it's fun, it's serious, it's musical, it's of joy.
Vibes.
Like when I was a kid, going to school on the bus, I would listen to recordings of the radio on Rap Show. I hated school. I don't know why at the time I hated it so much, but those headphones gave me a blanket of support without knowing all my youth. So listening to the radio on Rap Show on the way to school was medicine. It's bizarre as that sounded. It blanked out the world and it gave me this kind of innate tribalism that I felt I was in line with. And looking back, it was my medicine as a young boy who was highly anxious. As I grew and expressed through music, it was the same thing. So when I make music, I feel so in the moment and with so much joy, it's like medicine. When I see live music, same feeling. I think movement comes natural from vibration. What comes out of that speaker is a movement, and when it hits you, you feel it and you react to it or you don't. But I can't help moving when I like something. And I think that's a beautiful trade and transition between speaker and human. So yeah, absolutely, man. It's the best medicine. I genuinely believe that. I didn't know rhythm was an instinct, but it makes sense because certain times you can't help it. And I see it in here. If I start making a beat and someone just starts nodding, it's not preempted, it's a reaction. So that makes sense. It's obvious, but it's sub-bass. So that's the real low frequency for those that aren't aware. And it's like, the real lowest it can be is like an aeroplane taking off. And then the more like mid to top bit is like the top end of a bass string. So that area there is like, it literally moves you. So we're talking reggae, of course. We're talking jungle, grime, dubstep. They have an element in that shakes the speaker and shakes you as a listener. And there's a party that I go to in Southall, which is run by the Punjabi community, and they play dub. And it's kind of a beautiful mishmash of only London could create because it's Punjabi community presenting West Indian music in London. And I go there every 8 weeks and it's like having a massage, right? It's unbelievable. I stand near the speaker, I love the music, I love the vibration, but I love the way it makes my body feel. And I think that bottom end, us British people, we love it. And I don't know if that's because it was brought to us by the West Indies and it was integrated, or it's a subconscious release from the day-to-day stress. There's something in the bottom end that we and myself just resonate towards generation after generation. And I think with like dub and reggae music, the social commentary on top of uplifting and chatting down certain regimes, it's very aligned with what I think. So you have this social commentary and you have a physical sensation and you come out feeling, it's like therapy in it really, basically, yeah. That vibe there. Rhythm and bass, like, it's the foundation, and it's like, if you think about the djembe that they beat, traditionally African instrument, but then into Rastafari culture, it's like so simple, but it's so filling. And all it is like one instrument and it reps the bass and like a sort of percussive sound. And I think like the chants that people do around that is innate, but then that converts into popular culture with dancehall music, then into Afro, etc., etc. I think the spirit of it is tribal and innate and undeniably spiritual, and it crosses over into like popular culture, but the root of it is that. I mean, you think about it though, like before music was sold, right? It was just a thing. So like we made music sellable, but before that it was a language and an expression, and it didn't have any like value commercially. And I think that's fascinating. I'd love to have witnessed it in that state because it's pure expression and it's pure spirituality.
It does still exist.
Right.
In indigenous communities.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So
it's just kind of, I'm just so conditioned to it being a profitable experience, whether that's concert, studio, radio, it all goes back to some sort of capitalism. As a DJ, when you're playing records and you're trying to entertain, because essentially that's what it is, it's about kind of reading that feeling. Sometimes it's not even movement, it's just an aura. It's hard to explain, and you have to kind of adapt what you're prepared to do to make that aura uplift. And it's like a reciprocal trade-off. It's right funny, like when you go to a rave and you're playing all night, early in the night, people are a bit more reserved, and then as it builds, naturally, if you're getting it right, you feel it back, and we're trading it. It's not like I'm the leader and you're the follower. It's a one link. It's beautiful when you get it right, particularly on your terms, and you feel like a leader within the community of us all being a crew. I tell you what was mad though. I don't play out much anymore, but I did Bush Hall with Bashi the other week for his headline show. And he's got a tune with Scraps. Now, Scraps is from around here and he's massively respected and adored. And he come out and he did his tune, and then we played his big tune. And there's a thing in the reggae dancehall culture called the forward, which is a rewind, yeah? But the reason it's called the forward is because people from the back of the room would surge forward. So you hear it all the time on jungle records, like forward, liquid rewind, pull up that forward. It means that you basically played a good song or a reactive song. When Scraps done this tune, I've never experienced a forward like this in my life. And I'll tell you why, yeah? Hopefully you'll find this interesting, because like, I've got forwards bare, but this was different. And it was because there were a lot of mandem in there, like deep-throated, big, masculine blokes who gave the forward and shouted. And it was this like choir of like low frequency that I don't normally get in the raves I play at, which was just basically loads of man going, yeah! And it was like a wall of sound that came through movement that came from the crowd towards me, and I've never felt out like that before. It were mad. The Scraps forward is no joke, you know. And I think it's because it came from a very like masculine expression where the frequency was low, because it was just bare man going, ooh! And it was mad. In like nearly 25 years of being outside as a selector, I never felt that back, ever.
That reminds me of the Hacker, the New Zealand.
Ah, yeah, that vibe there. It was that expression. It just come out of these guys who probably don't do it often for various reasons. And there was like a wall of sound. I was joking to Scraps saying, I've never experienced that before. Yeah, it's amazing. I think it was partly because a lot of males are reserved in certain environments, yeah, but a lot of them have a big voice, but they don't use it. And then, so I think collectively, and like you say, a lot of them were probably like late 20s to 40s, they've got a deeper tone too. So you've got someone flexing that you don't hear flex, but in a way that there's loads of them, 30 at the same time, deeper pitch, very much a more aggressive expression. So then I think that's what created this thing that it's never happened before. I'm just a little ones going, yeah! These like, yeah! It was like Matrix. It was incredible. It's an energy thing, you know. It's like, really is. It's like, I know that's a very kind of like blasé thing to say, but it can be 2 people or 20,000. There's just a unified spirit. Music is traditionally something that brings together, like sport, like certain like other elements. But like when everyone's in tune, there's a united energy that's really indescribable that can be between 6 people in here or 60,000. It's those moments that you walk away with, particularly when you're at it a lot, because they mold into one. But every now and again, you just capture a moment that is a unified experience that makes it the one that you remember, really. Like the 30 men screaming at Scraps. So with rave culture today, I am far less active than I once was. But for me, as a 39-year-old sober man, my whole experience within it has to come from the root of its brilliance. And by that, for me, it's vibration and sound. So I haven't got patience, time, or even entertainment to be in a space that its root, the sound system and the selection, isn't giving me joy. Any external thing that you put on top of yourself to enhance that experience, I haven't got. Nor am I interested in it anymore. So if I go to a rave and I'm not really in tune with what's happening, which is fine, then I'm naturally going to not be around, or I'm not going to stick about. But if I'm into it, it's the best experience, way more than if I wasn't into it, but I'd clouted loads of stuff on me to enjoy it. And I don't think that I understood that until I basically went sober. So for me as a raver, everything has to be right for me to experience the joy of it the way it should be. For the youngers, I can't tell you because I'm not outside like that. And I think there's this perception of young uns being like, you know, obsessed with their phone and filming everything. And don't get me wrong, that is something that's been kind of put on us from tech companies and whatnot. But the young people I'm meeting here are so tuned in and so almost anti a lot of that, that it gives me faith that that thread of what was created well, back, but that kind of 80s, 90s, 2000s things that we experience is still very much needed, wanted, and the baton's being passed. I think there's a bit of a nasty lens on certain age groups that is not true. And I think they're going to do it their way. And it's a very similar way to what we did. I think there's a pressure on young ones to look amazing all the time. Potentially the rave is a space to not feel like that as much because everyone has this kind of understanding that it's not that time. Maybe, I don't know. So you'd hope that that'd be a safe space to like not have to feel glammed up as much as you would day to day. But again, it goes back to when we was raving, man. It was a free space, innit? That's the point. Like Britain, when it's brilliant, is in those type of environments. And we create this like thing that we do our way that's no better than any other place or worse, but it's unique, innit? I think Notting Hill Carnival to me is the one rave we have left in terms of freedom. There's no ticket price. There's no age limit. You can drink a bottle of Hennessy or you can drink a Ribena. That's rave culture. Be you, do you, it's fine. There's no like commercial lens on it to exploit because it's free. The thing is with Notting Hill Carnival is like, where we're sat right now, it's around us, right? And where I live is on the peripheral, just edges of it. And I've been coming since 2009, so our pilgrimage before I lived in London because it was such an important event to me and the music I love with and for the culture. But every year it still blows my mind. Like from the minute I get on the corner, because you have a unified energy of humans, you have amplified sound, you have very, very bright visual, you have a very heavy smell. So it's very oversensory. And in fact, it's quite a lot for some people, myself included. I feel a bit transitional for a bit and then I get into the flow and I bounce around. I think the fact that all those people are in one space alone is magic, but then all the other elements on top, I think that's why it's an addictive ceremony in a sense. Because like, I missed it once since 2009. I refuse. Do you know what I mean? There's something in it that's drawing me back beyond the shop front of it. And maybe it's that. I don't know. Massive ceremony. Best one at year. Yeah. For me anyway.
Christmas, better than Christmas.
Oh yeah, literally.
Yeah, for sure.
So the essence of a tune really is songwriting, melody, rhythm. How you dress that up is up to you. So it's like a mannequin, you know, like a mannequin when you go in a shop where it's got nothing on. It's up to you what clothes you put on that mannequin to make it the genre. But really beneath that is the thing. So like if I start a tune with someone on here and they start playing chords, right, just by themselves, I can dress that up into R&B, rap, dancehall, reggae, garage, jungle, whatever. Because really the essence of it is what's happening there and then. And the tempo will dictate that, and it will dictate the energy that the listener receives. So if I say take a little idea that was done slow and speed it up, naturally it's going to give a more hyperactive energy and the session is going to run more like that than if I'd have kept it as a ballad. But really, the tempo just dictates a feeling of pace and expression bodily, but really the underlying feature of it is like the song and the lyric and then the groove that you apply. And sometimes actually it's a bit mad because I like different stuff and I can hear stuff dressed up a different ways. There's too many options. And so I can make a tune into a jungle thing or I can make it into like an R&B thing. And it's just, I think sometimes there's just like a united feeling in the room how we're going to present this because of the mood of the day. It's right funny in music because I think people that put people in studios for like commercial value, which is fine, I'm one of those. They go, right, T's making beat, he's songwriter, that's rapper. They're going to come out with a tropical UK grime hit. And the songwriter turns up, she's just broke up with her boyfriend. The MC is hungover and I've got man flu. So we make a ballad because we're human beings. Do you know what I mean? We can't necessarily just express something that we are not in that moment. And I think tempo dictates that as well. It's hilarious. The good thing about electronic music is like it's accessible to 99% of us via the technology that we're surrounded by now. So you can make it on your phone, your laptop, your tablet, hopefully in your school or your local youth club and stuff. And a lot of the knowledge is available online, so you can train yourself and express yourself for free, which is amazing, particularly for certain communities that you haven't got the access or finance. So in terms of making it, it's never been easier. And I think expression shouldn't have a price on it or tag. Anyone should and does do it. So like, if you were like, whatever electronic music, whether that's drill beats, funky house, like trance, whatever, it's all made electronically, right? So like, the accessibility of it is beautiful. And then within that, there's going to be loads of people that are similar to you, so you're going to find a tribe, yeah? Particularly at certain ages, so you're going to find your community, and again, with the online presence, you can hopefully seek them out and then meet them and express together through sound system or party or whatever. Music and sport is a bait one. They bring people together. It's facts. So raves, football matches, yeah, people do madness, of course, but we're tribal, right? And I think sound, even though we're possessed by technology, visual, fast media, all that stuff, there's something about sound that's still the main glue to me, and sport that is inept and primal and tribal and is still the main glue of community. And probably low-key one of the reasons I love it, because I'm a believer in just getting along. And maybe that's one of the subconscious things I love about sound, that it creates that 95% of the time.
And oneness.
Yeah, oneness, that's what I'm trying to say, yeah. Getting along. You know, that's carnival to me. Do you know what I mean? Million people getting along.
100%. Is there anything else you want to add?